This is Terry. I am recording my screen and are videotaping my screen. So, as to just show you a few things, let you hear a few things on this video, and hopefully some of this that you'll understand. This is moving into the new monetary system that the world is going to. All the other countries have stopped accepting the U.S. dollar. They call it fiat dollar. It's not worth anything, and we're going to go to a fully gold backed up digital system. A lot of things in your world is going to change, and eventually everything. Um, we are going back to the republic. President Trump will be back as the 19th president of the new republic. And the corporation United USA Inc. has been shut down for over 2 years now. Everything that you're seeing now about Biden and Pelosi and all of that is not real. Uh, they are scripting to finish up a movie to show exactly to the world so it'll never happen again of how deep these people went, how evil they were. But anyway, monetary system was what I'm interested in here. And this particular training course, which I'm already involved, uh, and then going through the processes and the videos and reading. But I want to go for director. As a director, you can be awarded Zim bonds, collect for Zim bond money to do your humanitarian work. Just so you understand that humanitarian, stand by. Sorry about that. I had to kind of back up and regroup a minute. But anyway, so what we're going to do is this is talking about what they call a CAC centers. And if you notice at the top of what you're seeing here, it says Community Assistance Centers. These are centers going to be set up, and because of the manpower necessary, they've reached out to the people that have been involved in all of this for years, which I'm one of them. And so it's an opportunity to be a director, to give away money is basically what it means. Because what we're going to do is we've got to find everybody that's not got the news yet, get them in, get them situated, and even furnish a little training, because they're going to have two appointments to do, just like you will, just like I will, just like everybody you know individually will have their own two appointments. It's supposed to take about 90 days, I understand, to do both appointments, but you'll walk into your first appointment, and when you leave, you can go buy your new Mercedes, whatever you want, and you'll have letters of that you have plenty of funds. I can't remember what they're called. Proof of finance, proof of financial ability, I guess. But anyway, so you'll get those at that meeting too. So you can immediately go buy a house, you can buy a car, but you can, doesn't matter what it is, because it's going to be okay. Okay. So anyway, without going any further, I'm going to start the video and just let you listen to some of it and get a gist of what's going on. Uh, so this is the CAC map, I believe. So Jay, let's see what this is.
I'd like to welcome all of those who are here to learn about the Community Assistance Center program. The basic building block of society is the family. So what we're trying to do is do things that are centered around the family to build the family unit and strengthen it. And that's what the RSS program is all about. The work of humanitarian activities are found in the communities, and that's where we're going now with our community assistance centers. This slide is just basically, in addition, families build communities, neighborhoods, towns, cities, states, and nations. And again, the majority of the humanitarian work is done in the local communities. So the Community Assistance Centers program. In this slide, you have the Zim benefactor, picture representing the Zim benefactor. Below him is a state director. Now this is if you had a fully functioning program. You don't usually start from the top and work down. You usually start with one person. But you would eventually have a state director, a county director, a city director, community directors, and then you'd have all of the assistants up on the top there. So that is the basic structure. So we're talking about community assistance centers. The Zim benefactor sets up the structure and controls the funds. The Zim benefactor's main CAC job is recruiting and expanding CAC centers to new areas. Your job is to train new directors who support the community's programs. Okay, the community director wears many hats, controls the outflow of funds under the guidance of the Zim benefactor, administers employee contracts for service-oriented business.
Now, the Zim benefactor is the director. I've already been awarded my certificate. Yes, I've already been awarded my certificate, and it's 10 100 quintillion dollar bonds. Okay, just so you know, I've already been awarded this through this system here, which to do this is the only way to go through right now. Now, whether it'll go expand, it probably will, or it may not, but everything it goes through here is kind of tying all the process together. This is the first video, so just kind of just try to remember some of that. That's 10 times 100 quintillion Zim bonds. When I go to my appointment, which everybody will have, I will redeem those bonds for the money. And for 10 100 quintillion bonds, I can ask for up to, from between $500,000 and $1 million per dollar value. You know, the thing about it is we've been charged for everything our whole lives. Okay, so just remember that. Every time you turn around, they kept breaking everything down and taxing you more and more on the littler and smaller increments of everything and charging more. So, and getting less. So there you go. I know you've all noticed it. All right, well, let's continue on. I just want you to have time to look at this a little bit right here and read it. And so we'll move on. Listen to this.
He's the local, or she's the local liaison for the RSS program, coordinates grants for local construction projects, coordinates government trust to support local needs, government needs, liaison for the National Real Estate Listing Service to support their needs, manages assistant directors and assigns projects for them, and is really the go-to guy in support of the community, the public face of the CAC program. We'll get into some of the stuff that he wants to do after, well, it's coming up here now. The assistant directors do the work. So you have the director who is responsible for the community, and he gets as many assistant directors as he needs to fulfill what is conceived to be his responsibilities to that community. So the assistant directors do the work. The director can have many assistants as needed. Assistant directors are the boots on the ground that get the work done. Examples of what they can do is they can find and build sports fields and rec centers. For the National Real Estate Listing, they can do condo conversions, and you might find somebody that's really good at that, and let them loose and go find apartments to convert. Organizes contractor services for remodeling homes, a major part of the real estate listing service is when we remodel the homes and put them back out on the market for sale. So that requires contractors. And so an assistant can be involved in setting up and providing the service to the National Real Estate Listing Service and the brokers that will be responsible for the actual remodeling. So this person, this assistant director, is involved with finding the contractors for those services. Also supports a construction project for housing, etc. Again, this is, you get into the land development people who want to build houses, and there's a whole program that we can do for them, like funding all of their activities, buying the properties, and just having him do the work and getting paid as if he was, and he doesn't have to go ahead and invest all that money and so forth because he has a product that's already purchased through us. Liaison for the employee contract management. This is primarily, I would say his primary job is to find and help or put their service-oriented business under employment contracts. One particular one could be involved with that, or you could have 5 or 10 or whatever. Expanded responsibilities in rural areas with farmers and the new hemp crop. If there's a community assistance center set up in a rural area, then you could have specialized assistant directors, or the director himself could be specialized in helping farmers. And we're interested in doing new hemp crops and so forth. So there would be machinery and processing stuff that's required for processing hemp. So all of those kinds of things would be peculiar to a rural area, and those people who are involved, the assistant directors who are involved there, or the director, would have a specific responsibility for them. So it depends on if it's rural or suburban or urban, depending on where you are and what you're going to do. So a lot of people are interested in helping the farmers, a lot of Zim benefactors, and this is a program that can help really implement what you're trying to do for the farmers.
Yeah, this is awesome. Can I ask some questions with this one, Ron?
I'd love to have questions. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, this is one of my favorite things to talk about or to really understand. So as far as like for the homeless projects, would homeless housing fall into the CAC program?
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
Okay. And will you have detailed training for all of these different areas, such as the employment contract management and the farming situations? Will you have other trainings that kind of dive into the nitty-gritty?
Okay. This is where I've talked to some of you and told you some of this, and this is I'm making these to help you guys kind of figure out how to get started on this. And each one of that goes through this is trying to be a director, and they're not trying to keep you out of the club. They want you in. That's the good part. Everything is for humanity now, and that's what we're going to get used to. We're not looking to pay Big Brother, and we're going to keep our money. So, and then this is going to be given to you as well. So we'll go ahead, and I'm going to let you hear the answer that Tracy is going to get for that question about detailed training. This is pretty important for you to understand right here. So let's go.
Well, the need will force us into doing the things that need to be done. There's no resistance to that. If there's a need for training specifically for a director in a community assistance centers, we'll do that. We have no problems with that. But keep in mind always, this is a brand new thing. Nobody's done this before, so we will look for help within the communities for things that need to be done, and then work out the training for that. And maybe the training is to look where to look for the people that you want to solve the problems in the community. We have to respond to the local community and what's going on there for us to know how to teach people what to do. And so once we get into it and we see how things are going, then we can, in the initial stages, it's just kind of training for, well, this is what we think you're going to need to do, and so forth. And then when we get into it and find out the nitty gritty, then we can do some actual training that would be general for different countries and everybody else, with solving specific problems in a specific community. So yes, to answer your question, we do anticipate, because this is all new, and gosh, we're not here to just dump you on something, and it's not our responsibility to do the nitty gritty work, but we want you to be successful as a humanitarian. So our Zim benefactors are going to get as much help as we possibly can to help
and from
with
the
their
Alliance, right? From the Alliance as well.
Oh yeah, and that's a good key point. At this particular point in time, understand that the Alliance has a lot of trust and faith in humanitarians. We have not done this before. Nobody has. They're not just going to throw us out there with all these quadrillions or whatever of money and expect us to solve all of the problems overnight. They're there. We will have somebody assigned to us, a representative of the Alliance, not to do the work for us, but to assist and act as counselors. So if you have some problems, then I don't know how this is going to work. You're going to sit down with an angel and have just a discussion about what you need to do and come to some conclusions. They're not going to dictate to you, because this is your job. You're the sovereign humanitarian, so it's your responsibility. But they're there to assist us, and we're not going to be left alone, for sure. This is too important for the establishment of the golden age of mankind, and this is what this is all about. So we're going to get all the help we need from the angelic realm. That's my understanding.
That's super exciting. And I do think that collaborating together and creating little systems so that you're not reinventing the wheel over and over and over for all of these different situations was helpful too.
Well, for sure. And we'll work out some kind of a way to do that, a website that can go to. You can interact with other people and see what they're doing, and they may have suggestions. And we got a problem over here. Has anybody had a problem similar, and how did you solve it? That kind of thing, that kind of communication is essential.
Sorry about that, folks. I had my mic muted. Okay, so let me start over again. This is where once you get registered in as training for director, you get access to this. This is not launched yet, so I'm already set up in here, and right now this site is under wraps. So it's not really supposed to be shared with anybody yet, but it will be wide open. Nothing is a secret, and nobody's trying to keep anybody out. Everyone's going to have to have their appointments. Okay, so just feel good about that, because you're going to get to live like you were intended, according to the good book. All right. Now, right here, you can create new CAC, which is Community Assistance Centers, and you can view all CACs, and that's what I'm going to go to now, because I've already proposed a location and named it and everything, and this is what my theme is going to be throughout all the CACs that we get to build or whatever to service the communities. Okay, so here we go. This is the map. Okay, and these are all proposed community centers. Let's zoom in here, zoom in some more. Okay, this is my proposed CAC. Okay, so we'll go here and we're going to view that CAC. This is the one that I created. We're only allowed to do one at first to kind of learn the system. And when this thing kicks off, the proposed, once funded, they'll start. They'll go into it'll go to, what is it, yellow, and that means it's in progress. That it's being developed. Whatever construction has to be finished, redone, or whatever to accommodate the people that we need to bring in, which obviously are going to be the ones most impacted by what's going on, which are the homeless, unemployed, employed, whatever. We'll get into some of that in another video. So let's look and view the CAC, which you saw it a while ago, but you weren't hearing anything. And as you see right here, the status is proposed. Traveler is my alias, because they said we don't need to be using our real names. So I came up with that. I'm very early in, so I can pretty much have what I want. All right, let's go look at the CAC, which is the Community Assistance Center. Now, I thought it was appropriate to use New Beginnings, which I like, because that's what all of this is. It's a new beginning for all humanity. All right, so all of my community centers are going to be called New Beginnings Community Assistance Center, and then it's going to be like a store number, but this is going to be 0001. I don't know that we'll get into the thousands of them, but they're there. They'll probably always have at least one or two zeros in front, just depending on what all we can get done. But here is the location here. Okay, it's right there. And this is what it is. It's a Fairfield Inn and Suites in Dallas, Las Colinas, 116 room interior corridor hotel. Now, the hotel idea that I came up with is because as we start processing people up out of the street, we've got to house them. This would be a temporary stop for them, because we will process them into a more permanent residence until they are ready to go to their appointment. And that way, no more hunger, no more homelessness. That is the goal of what we're trying to get done. That's why they need so many directors. So consider that if you have that humanitarian heart, and the bigger that humanitarian is and space it takes up in your heart, the bigger you can go. If you go up to director, then you're going to get your own Zim bonds and you're going to get your own funds to be able to fund everybody else. A lot of details to this, so you'll need to go through the training if you want to go through this, but it's simple. It's watch the videos, learn it, and just prepare to be amazed every step of the way, because when you realize everything that's going to happen and change. All right, enough with that. So anyway, this is just a description. This particular hotel is for sale. It's in Las Colinas right here in the map, okay? And once you get in, you can literally click on that, and it will tell you what it is, and this is what you'll get. And the Fairfield Inn, located 630 Carpenter Freeway, Irving, Texas. Let's grab that. Let's open up another window. Let's go to, let's go to Google. Now I'm going to type this in. It's going to come up with the hotel. And this hotel, as I said, is up for sale. Okay. And this is how I see that we need to process. Just to show you, and this is going to be happening. We're going to be doing this everywhere. There's one person going to be concentrating in the entire Denton and 50-mile radius of there. And I'm planning on doing my first one in Las Colinas because it's close to Dallas. We have a lot of homeless people there, a lot of people in need everywhere. So anyway, we're going to bring them, we're going to pick them up, bus them, bring them in, let them have rooms, they can shower, clean up, we'll see to all their needs, medical, everything, until they're ready to get through their appointments. So this is what we have. Now let's just kind of look through it a little bit and see. We're not trying to just stick them in, old motels or something like that where it's really bad. We need to do something like this. Like I say, this one's actually for sale, and I think it's at about 3.5 million right now. So let's go through. This is areas within the hotel which can be used for lounging, which is what it is. The lobby, it looks like out here, and then we'll move on. This looks like the, I don't know, I guess the gift shop. The picture's not very clear. Huh. Okay. Didn't notice that before. There it is again. I don't know what that is, but we'll make it what we need. And here's another area. Now, these are people that have been on the streets for possibly years, okay? So they're going to be treated like royalty, gold, just like every one of you will. This is another shot of a sitting area, which we would be sure to have a lot more accommodations in these rooms. The shower, I guess, we got to look at that, show how that looks. Here's rooms. This is actually a suite. And, your man and wife couple could be in here and literally have two places to work. And then the couch will fold out into a queen-size bed, too. So anyway, if they have to do that, like a family unit is in there, then obviously one want to try to keep them together. All right. So we have everything. We have the outdoor pool. Breakfast is offered, which we're going to do it even better because we have the money to do it with. The hotel has 118 rooms, 3 floors in the hotel, 19 suites in the hotel. And of course, this check-in time is going to go away because we're not having that. We're not charging for this. We're going to make sure they have it. Let's move on, see if we've got some kind of eating things, places inside the hotel to eat. Now, this would be training people, which would have a lot more tables and chairs, TV, and training people to prepare for their own personal appointment. Remember, each appointment is an individual experience that everyone will experience. And when you walk out, like I say, when they walk out, they'll be ready to step all the way into their new life. Okay, and we're going to help them prepare to get there. So they'll, when they go in, they'll know what to expect, things like that. And this is part of my humanitarian, what I want to do. I want to organize. I want to help design some of this. It's never been done. So that's a passion for me. Anyway, personal note there. We'll continue to look at some of the pictures. There's another room, I guess, or another shot. Here's some areas here, I guess, for eating, whatever. More area here. This is all within the same hotel. Here's a place that we can feed. They can have breakfast and stuff here every morning, just like they do in upscale hotels. And you can make waffles and everything else right here if that's what they want to do, and do it themselves. And then there should be a place, and I believe this may be it, for you to just order prepared food and then you can eat here like cafeteria style. Okay, so let's move on. This is obviously what it looks like, an exercise room that I believe that we need to leave intact and even add things to it, because people need to get back in shape. Okay. I guess that's another room. And here's your business center, which we can utilize that way with more computers, more ways for people to use them, and to be able to take care of their business when they want to or need to do things in their processes that they're going to be doing, because they'll be okay. Now remember, this is the first stop, and we're going to have a more permanent quarters we can put them in once, and then we get everything they need, their towels, everything, dishes, and food. Food is going to be free for them. Everything, their housing, everything. They won't pay for anything. So we'll move on to see what we've got. Here's another picture of another room, a little snack bar at night, I guess, which this will not be charged for, this type of stuff. It'll be free for them to use. There's an outside picture of it. It's got the overhang outside. There's a Fairfield Inn, and they're pretty nice. I think they're pretty much, I think they go to 5-star, but I think this is like a 3.5 to 4. So that's it in a nutshell. Probably enough for now. We're 34 minutes in. So I know this is my first video to do this, so don't hold me too much to my feet to the fire on this one. But anyway, this is just little bits and pieces to help you kind of get an idea of kind of what's going on. Some of this stuff is kind of hard to navigate at first, but once you start rolling, it's an exciting thing to do. It's probably the most heartfelt thing you could ever do, is humanitarian projects to help your fellow man. And the money that you're going to get for your wealth, that doesn't need to be your primary focus. Remember, the humanitarian heart is where you help keep everything running. Everybody will have their own calling, and it'll be what they want to do, what they're interested in, what excites them, and what areas. Some will be in food preparation, like chefs and things like that, and people keeping everything up and running. It wouldn't be a good thing to get all this money and have nowhere to spend it, because everybody retired, okay? So the entire globe would shut down. Mail wouldn't even move, right? So anyway, so without anything else, this is Terry. I'm going to sign off for now, and I'll follow up with another video shortly once I get it on my mind. This is my first introduction to kind of what I'm doing right now at this point and the stage that I'm at. Okay? Enjoy. Have a good day.